And Sandeep, for you, like yesterday, you were asking about this particular, Windows 10 image is not available in a specific region, right? So these images and other sizes are specific to the region. So those will be varies from region to region. Okay. So let me show you that. First, I'll clear that. Then, okay, we'll go with the other topics. So, for example, let me go with the normal Windows 20 something. What was the reason you have selected yesterday?
No, just out of curiosity, I thought I'll create something different.
I understood. I'm asking what is the reason you have selected here yesterday?
Uh, UK South.
UK South. Okay. Okay, so this is the UK South, and if you see the images, okay, so within these images, okay, that particular UK South, within the UK South, okay, you're saying that this particular Windows 10, it is available, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but you said it is not available yesterday.
No, no, it is available, but I got that error.
Oh, strange. Okay, no. What I mean to say is, okay, for the other folks also, okay, so especially in a specific region, certain images or certain sizes might not be available. Okay, don't worry that you are getting an error. It is available options from the Microsoft end. And at the same time, especially in a free trial account, let's say in a specific region, if you have already created two VMs already, okay, with a minimum two virtual CPU cores, you will be not allowed to create another VM, because in a single region you will be having a limitation to create only only four virtual cores. Okay, so that is the limitation we have, especially for the free tail accounts. Fine. So today let's talk, discuss about some other missing topics, that is availability options. Okay, we missed yesterday, right? So I'll cover it first, then we'll go in detail of the other details of the virtual machine first. So here, let me choose any one of the resource who, or else. Okay, so I'll go with this, which is West Europe. That is fine, and I'll give the any one of the name. Okay, so I say demo only. Okay, so demo VM01 I say, and now, so availability options. Okay, this is very very important. Okay, so just have a attention here. So if at all, if you wanted to provide a high availability for your workloads, okay, for your virtual machines, okay, so these are the two concepts we have. Okay, one is availability set and availability zone. Once again, I'm repeating, even in the interviews also you might get a this question as a 200%. If at all, if you wanted to provide a high availability for your workloads, let's say for my VM I wanted to provide a high availability, so what are the features which are available? Okay, so you can talk about this particular feature called availability options. So within this, okay, we have two concepts: availability set and availability zone. So we'll discuss one by one now. So if at all, if you don't understand something, okay, within Azure portal, okay, I always recommend you to put a cursor here and just go through this particular document. Okay, so it will be navigated to the specific thing. So whereas like availability options for Azure virtual machines. Okay, it is just like in a 3 minutes read, and it is modified, okay, very recently. And if you see here, okay, what is meant by availability set and what is meant by availability zone, we'll discuss about this virtual machine skill set, that is we call it as a VMSS later. Okay, so here, okay, on the left hand side you have a two features. Okay, availability set, availability zones. Okay, so if you go to this overview pages, okay, so you will be able to see what exactly it is all about. Okay, let's start with the availability set first here. Okay, I came back to this particular availability option at this moment. Okay, so here, okay, I'm going with the availability set and availability zones, and this particular VMSS, that is virtual machine scale set, which is in a preview mode, but is not at GA, that is globally available. So forget about this at this moment, but for now let's focus on these two. I'll start with availability set. So when I choose the availability set, okay, at this moment I do not have any availability set here, so I have to create one availability set. Okay, so when I click on this particular create an availability set, okay, so here it will give me two concepts. One is like a fault domain, another one is like a update domain. Okay, so first let me create one availability set here. So I said demo availability set 01. I'm just giving a short name as an availability set. Okay, when I keep an file domain here, okay, virtual machines in the same file domain, share a common power source and a physical network switch. Let's see what it is. I'll come back here. So this is how it will be. Like you might be seeing how the within a Microsoft data center, okay, your workloads will be created, right? Okay, let me show you that first so that you will understand more better. Let me open a window. I say data center. Yep. So let me open any one of the image here. Let's see this one. No, no. I see one more better. Yeah. So let me copy this one for now. Yes. Okay. So this is how the internal Microsoft data center will be looks like, and every okay, this entire one rack we call it as a one domain. Okay, or one rack or one domain, and whatever you see here, it is a physical hardware. Okay, so whatever the VMs or workloads that you are creating, right? So based on the region. So for say, okay, so here, okay, I'm choosing the West Europe. So within a West Europe, I might be having a data center, and within that data center, whatever the services I'm creating, okay, those will be created under this particular racks, and they will be these racks or these domains, okay, will be having a same network and same power supply. Okay, so here, okay, let's see what is the concept of fault domain. So by default, okay, here, okay, maximum, okay, we can keep the fault domain as a maximum 3. Okay, so within a free trial account, okay, it will allow to create only 2. Okay, let's go with the default 2. So what happens is by keeping the servers into the fault domain, okay, let's say here, okay, at this moment, okay, I have kept the fault domain as a 2, right? So here what happens is my workload should be distributed into 2 domains. Okay, this is one domain and this is another domain. Okay, how the segregation will happen, Microsoft will take care of internally, okay, which we don't know. And due to any power fluctuations, because okay, this entire racks will share the same common power and common network, right? Let's say due to any power fluctuations, okay, so due to any power fluctuation or a damage, okay, this entire rack goes down or damaged, your data will be redundant and available for the end user, okay, from the another rack. I'm repeating again, within a Microsoft data center, by keeping the servers into the fault domain. So what happens is, okay, this is like an entire one domain. Okay, so by keeping your servers into 2 domains at this moment, let's say I have taken a fault domain as a 2, my workloads will be distributed into 2 domains. How the distribution will happen, Microsoft will take care. And due to any physical damage or due to any power fluctuations, if this entire racks collapse or damaged, your data will be redundant from the another domain. That is the advantage of this particular fault domains. Can you see here? Okay, so fault domain 0, fault domain 1, and fault domain 2. Maximum we can have up to 3 fault domains only. We cannot have beyond that. Okay, so if due to any issues, okay, if this particular 2 domains are damaged, okay, your data will be redundant from the another domain. So that's where, okay, we can provide a high availability for the end user for his workloads. That is the concept of fault domain. And coming to the update domain, okay, if you see here, virtual machines in the same update domain will be restarted together during a planned maintenance. Azure never will restart more than one update domain at a time. So here, so what happens is, okay, so as an update domain, okay, we can have a maximum of 20 update domains. Okay, so remember these, things also. As a fault domain, maximum we can have 3, and as a update domain, okay, we can have maximum of 20. So for now, let me go with the 5. Can you please be on mute? Yeah, hi Vasi. Can you please be on mute? I'm sorry. Okay. So I'm just minimizing it. Yeah. So coming to the update domain, what happens is, okay, so even update domain also, here you could see, okay, when you keep the servers into the update domain, so these, workloads will be distributed into multiple domains again. Okay, here you could see domain 0, domain 1, domain 2, domain 3, domain 4. Likewise, okay, so this will be divided into multiple domains. So here if you come down, okay, so let me go up it. Okay, how availability set works. Okay, so here, okay, I'll show you certain technical terms here. each availability can be configured with a 3 fault domain and a 20 update domains. This is very important. This is what I have seen, right? So 3 fault domain, 20 update domains. And then, so update domains indicates a group of missions and underlying physical hardware that can be rebooted at the same time. So when more than 5 virtual machines are configured with a single availability set, the sixth virtual machine is placed into the same update domain as the first virtual machine. Okay, so by default here, okay, we are going with our update domain as a 5, right? So these domains, okay, will be kept into the single domain. And whenever any unplanned maintenance occurred from the Microsoft side, let's say sometimes, okay, if there are any critical updates, okay, that needs to be done from the Microsoft end. So what Microsoft does is, okay, without any prior intimation, okay, they start, doing updates. So when the server is updating, okay, so you will get the downtime for the end user. I'm sorry. Ravindra, can you please be on mute? Thanks. So once again, I'm repeating. So whenever you keep the workloads into the update domain, okay. So these update domains, okay, will be segregated into the multiple domains again. Let's say I will compare it here. Okay. So I say, I have kept my servers into the update domains and I have chosen as a 5. Let's say. Okay. So my servers into distributed into under these two fault domain as a different domains. Let's say I have chosen as a 2 fault domain, right? Okay, so and I am choosing the update domain as a 5. So probably two two workloads will be distributed under this particular domain and remaining 3 will be distributed under this particular domain, so that if there are any updates are happening, let's say, okay, this particular domain is getting updated. Okay, and whenever this particular domain is updating and all these 3 workloads will be rebooted at once, that time, okay, end user will might not be having, end user might be having certain downtime. So keeping the servers into different domains, okay, for the update management, okay, so end user will be getting a data and okay, high availability from the another domain. Once again, I'm repeating. Let's say, okay, here I have a 2 domains and I have distributed my servers as a update domain as a 5. Two will be, 2 physical servers will be stored here and the remaining 3 will be here. And let's say this particular domain is getting updated. Whenever the your servers are getting updated, end user will be getting certain downtime. So at that time, okay, so your traffic will be navigated here and end user will not get any downtime and his data will be redundant. Okay, that is the concept of this particular 2 availability set, that is fault domain and update domain. So this particular fault domain and update domain, that is availability set, will give you the redundancy within a Microsoft data center if there are any failures. And if you see here, okay, so by going with this particular availability set, Microsoft will guarantee you 99.95% SLA. Okay, so that is the concept of this particular availability set. It will give you the data redundant only within a Microsoft data center physical hardware failures. And whereas when you go with, okay, for now let me create this particular availability set. Same way, okay, here we have a concept called availability zones. Let's see what are these availability zones. If you don't know something what exactly about availability zones, same thing, okay, you can do. Same, you can navigate here. Okay, so this is the option. Okay, here you could say you can optionally specify an availability zone in which to deploy your VM. If you choose to do so, your manager disk and public IP, if there any one, will be created in the same availability zone as per your virtual machine. Okay, so let me navigate to the availability zone document here. So this is the availability zones. Okay, if I click on this, okay, if I go to the overview page, and here you could see, okay, let me calm down. So this is how, okay, so your availability zones will be. That means in a single region, let's say Central India is a region, and within the Central India, I will be having a 3 data center. Okay, one data center I will be calling it as a zone 1, another data center I will be calling as a zone 2 and zone 3. Okay, just to give you an example, okay, since most of the folks are from Hyderabad, okay, I'm just giving an example. Okay, so you might be having a, let's say Hyderabad could be one of the region. Okay, so within Hyderabad, okay, so this availability zones will be like, you will be having a one data center in Gachibowli, one will be like a LB Nagar, and one will be like, anywhere, some outer ring road, Samsabad or something. So that is how, okay, so these zones will be, in a single region will be there, and they are in a synchronous mode. Okay. So coming to Central India at this moment, okay, so since we have discussed about the Central India, okay, so these availability zones are not everywhere. Okay, so if I go to the Azure regions here, and if you see certain legends here, okay, availability zones available. Okay, so under this particular India region, okay, so we do not have a availability zones available yet. Okay, so if you see within West India and South India, we don't have any availability set, and even in Central India, they're yet to come. It is not yet available. Okay, if at all, if you wanted to see details, okay, here you can come down. Okay, here you could see availability zones presence. Okay, I have selected the geography as an India, and here if you see available in 2021, they are telling available in 2021, but it is not yet available. Okay, so nearest region with the zones coming soon. And similarly, if at all, if you wanted to see for other regions, for let's say, okay, here, okay, let's say UK South. Okay, if I go to the UK, and within the UK South, okay, availability zones, yeah, we have availability zones here. But UK West, okay, again, we do not have availability zones. So these availability zones are not available for all the regions. Okay, so they are available for the specific regions. Okay. In addition to that, okay, so you can see some of the announced regions also. Yeah. So here you could see Central India. This is something like an announced region, right? So this is also one of the consideration. And here what happens is, okay, when you keep your servers into the availability zones, okay, let's say while creating this particular VM, okay, I'm keeping the high availability option as an availability zone. Here it will ask me to choose the availability zones count. Let's say if I choose it as a 3, by default, Microsoft will distribute my workloads into 3 data centers, 3 availability zones. Okay. Here what happens is, since I have selected availability zones as a 3, my workloads will be distributed into zone 1, zone 2, and zone 3. Okay. So here how the data will be redundant is due to any DR. Okay, any disaster. Okay. So let's say if my entire data center down, or entire data center collapses, your data will be redundant, and your workforce will be redundant from the another 2 availability zones. Okay, that is the concept of this particular availability zones. Okay, and when you go with the availability zones, okay, Microsoft will guarantee you almost like a 99.99% SLA. Okay, whereas with the availability set, okay, Microsoft is providing 99.95% SLA. That is the difference. Okay, so by going with the availability zones, okay, Microsoft is providing complete high availability for your workloads. Okay, so these are the two major concepts. Okay, so like whenever you think thought about providing a high availability. And one more thing, very important. Okay, so once VMs are created, you cannot keep them into the availability set or availability zones. This is very important. Okay, even within your interviews also, you might get a question saying that I have a VM, okay, and I wanted to keep the VM into availability set or availability zone. Okay, so how to do that? Okay, they might try to check test you. Okay, I have a VM which is already created, and I wanted to keep for high availability purpose. Okay, I wanted to keep either in availability set or availability zone. How to do that? Okay, it is not possible because okay, so this availability set and available zones should be chosen, okay, while creating the VM itself. After creating the VM, we cannot keep it. Okay, this is very important. Remember this. Okay, so for example, let's say here, okay, I don't create any availability for now. I'll say, okay, this availability option itself, okay, I'll go with no infrastructure redundancy. Let's see how can whether can we do it. We'll not get any option to keep into the availability zone or availability set itself. Okay, for now I'll go with the availability set, and I'm choosing the availability set which I have already created. And here, okay, let me go with the 2016 data center. And here, okay, I have chosen a West Europe, right? And within this West Europe, okay, I'm going with the specific sizes. And we have already discussed, okay, different sizes yesterday. And let me give the username, and I'll say Azure user. And let me give some password here. And you're already know, right? Okay, this particular password base prerequisites. Okay, it should be having a minimum one lower character, one upper characters, one number, one special symbol. And at this moment, okay, I'm not allowing any port numbers. Okay, I'll show you after that also. If at all if you want it, okay, by default, okay, you will be chosen with the RDP port. If at all if you want to connect to the Windows machine, okay, you have to enable this port called 3389. If it is a Linux machine, okay, that is you have to enable the SSH, that is secure shell. Okay. And if at all if you have this we have already discussed, if at all if you have any on-premises license, okay, so you can save almost like a 49% on your cost. Okay, so here, okay, I'm getting like a 11,000 right, per month. So you will be given with a 49% discount in that 11,000. Let me go to the days. Okay, I'm going with all these as a default. And here if you see the networking also, it is creating a new network. So let's go with the defaults. And here, okay, it is creating one public IP also, that is fine. Let me go to the management, and I wanted to enable this particular monitoring feature, and this particular auto shutdown and backup and site recovery, these will see later. And coming to the advanced, here if you wanted to install any additional extensions, okay, you can put the script here, or else, okay, you can add any default extensions which are available within a portal provided by Microsoft. Okay, so for now I'm not going to install anything. And let me go to the tags. So these tags are very important. Okay, so just make a habit of creating a tags. Let's say, so I say created by. Okay, so when you say created by, okay, you have to give your email ID. And I'll say call center. Okay, so within your organization you might be having a different call center. And you can also give the you know environment. Okay, so environment, here I'm going with a dev. And these are all the things, okay, I'm getting default because, okay, I have used it before. And department created by cost center, that is fine. Okay, let's go with these three first, so that we'll get to know. Let me go to the review and create. Sometimes what happens is, okay, so I see most of the folks, okay, like they will be when they go here and they click on review and create, their validation might be not passing. Okay, so they will be facing an error. Let's see. Okay, I'll show you one example here. Let's say I'll remove this particular VM name. Okay, and I'll say review and create. Okay, this time validation will be failed, and it will also give you the clear indication with a dotted line, okay, where we are missing. Okay, so under a basic, okay, we have some mistake, so we have to navigate to the basics. Okay, so just here you could see the one dotted line, right? Just go there, and here, okay, you could see the error. Okay, so you can just easily identify if you are missing something. Let's say this is 01. Fine, let me review and create it again. Fine, so let me create it for now. So what we have done, okay, so I'll just quickly show you. Okay, so let's say Azure virtual machine. Okay, so once this particular virtual machine is created, okay, so let's say virtual machine. Okay, I'll go to the images and let me open this. Okay, let me copy this. I'll put it here. So this is what we have done. Okay, if at all if you want me to show you the whatever I have done as an architecture diagram. Okay, so I'll just pull it out here, and let me come back here, and let me navigate to my resource group. Okay, if you see, okay, first I have created a resource group, and if I come back here, okay, this is my resource group. Okay, so here you could see the resource group symbol. So just try to get familiar with specific icons also, because you being as an Azure administrator, okay, if at all if you get a chance to design an architecture diagram, okay, how to do it. But before you to do it, okay, you should know how the flow, okay, what exactly you're doing when you create a VM. Okay, not only VM I'm just saying, but on a high level, okay, how the network connectivity and what are the components, what are the resources are created under a network and under a subnet. You should be familiar with it. Okay, so let me quickly compare these resources. Okay, whatever I have created just now, I think it is yeah. So I see most of the resources are created, and at this moment, okay, I did not create any storage account. I think it is like a earlier one, but let's forget about this at this moment. So what I had first, okay, I have a resource group. Okay, here you could see this is the resource group, and within the resource group I have a VNet, a virtual network first. This is the virtual network, and if I go back here, okay, if you see, okay, this is my virtual network. Let's open this virtual network first, and within the virtual network I have a subnet, and within the subnet, okay, I will be creating all the resources. Let's say, okay, here, okay, if I navigate to this particular subnet option, we did not discuss about the virtual network yet. Don't worry. Okay, we'll be discussing in upcoming sessions. And if you see here, Under VNet, okay, I have one subnet, okay, that is a subnet called default subnet, and this is the IP range. Okay, here you could say I have created a subnet within a VNet. Fine. So let me come back here. And now, so what else we have? Within a subnet, okay, I have a VM, NIC, and NSG. Okay, NSG is nothing but a network security group, and NIC is nothing but a network interface. So this particular network interface will be attached to the VM. Here you could see it is attached to the VM. Let's see that. Okay, I'll go to the network interface, and if you see also attached to, okay, so this particular NIC is attached to the demo VM01. This is what, okay, we have seen right here. Okay, and at the same time, okay, for this particular NIC, okay, there is also a public IP attached. If you see it here, private IP and public IP. And for the VMs, whatever the private IP that you see, this IP is belongs to the NIC, and it is taken from the subnet range. And if another public IP also attached here, if you see, okay, this is the public IP, it is attached to the NIC. Okay, let me show you in a different way also. Let me come back here. I'll go to the public IP. So this is the public IP. Okay, let me go here, and you can see, okay, so associated to, okay, this particular public IP is associated to this particular resource. Let's see what is this resource. This resource is network interface. Where clear? Always remember this connectivity model. Public IPs will be always attached on a NSC level, and always NSC will be attached to the VM. Okay, we are good with this now. And come back to the NSG. Okay, network security group. So let me go back to my resource group now. So here I have a network security group. So this is the network security group. Let's open this network security group, and it is associated to, okay, here you could see the association with one network interface and zero subnet. That means always we can attach the network security group to subnets as well as network interface. This is very important. This is what you can see here. So we have an energy. I'll tell you the what is the purpose of energy also, but I'm on a high level how they are interconnected. Okay, I'm just showing you. This energy at this moment is attached to the NIC only. Okay, as you could see, it is attached to the only NIC, one network interface. Okay, and these are the default rules will be created when you create a network security group. What are all those also we'll discuss in detail in upcoming sessions. And if you see here, this is the NIC which is associated at this moment. Okay, here you could see. And for this NIC, this is the public IP and this is a private IP, and this is the VM which is attached. You can see everything here. If you wanted to attach this NIC for another NIC, you can just click on associate. And at this moment, okay, in this particular resource group and in this particular region, we have only one NIC. That is the reason I'm not able to see another. If at all, if you have additional one, you can choose it and you can just associate. Great. So let me come back. So this is the functionality of energy. We discussed about resource group, how VNet, subnets, and VM, NSA, public IP, and energy. And when you create a VM, okay, here, okay, by default, a OS disk is created. Let's see that. Okay, let me come back to my resource group. And here, if you see, okay, this is my VM, and here, this is my OS disk. Okay, and here you could see the same disk, OS disk, which is created. It is like a managed disk. Okay, so I did not discuss about managed and managed disk types. Okay, so I'll come back to this point now. So managed disk is nothing but these disks are managed by Microsoft. You don't need to manage them. Okay, so and in addition to that, at this moment we do not have any data disk. Okay, if I go back to the VM, and within a VM, okay, here I have a option called disk. We'll discuss about almost each and every option now, okay, in a while. So if I go back to the disk here, okay, this is my OS disk, and I do not have any data disk. Data disk is nothing but, okay, additional disk whichever whichever you wanted. Okay, on my C directory. Okay, for example, if I go to this PC, okay, I have a C drive, right? Okay, this is kind of OS disk. In addition to that, I have like something like D, E, and E, right? So this is how, okay, we can attach additional data disk based on your requirement. So at this moment for our server, we have created only OS disk. We haven't attached any data disk. That is fine. Along with all the Azure virtual machines, Microsoft will give you one temporary storage. Okay, so this temporary storage, okay, it will be attached for the VM sizes. Okay, if I come back here, okay, so let me quickly connect to the VM first and just copying this IP. Okay, you can just click on connect and you can download RDP also. If not, okay, what you can do is, okay, you can just simply copy this and you can just type here MSTSC. Okay, if you don't remember this word called MSTSC, you can just type RDP also. Okay, you can just type RDP, it will be opened, and you have to pass that particular public IP here, and let me click on connect. So here I need to pass my username and password. So this is the username and password I have provided while creating the VM. And if you see here, by default within Azure, what happens is, this is the host name of the server. It will take the default VM name as a host name if you don't specify. Okay, I'm repeating again. So within a virtual machines, okay, the VM name and a portal and the host name of the server will be different. If at all, if you wanted to give it as a different, okay, while creating the VM might not be possible. That we can achieve it, okay, by using some automation. But by default, it will be taken as a VM name. Okay, here you could say I'm connecting to the demo VM 01. So let me click on yes. So if I get into the VM, okay, I will be able to see a temporary storage. Okay, let's see that now. Let us allow for this loading this particular server. Yeah, as you could see, okay, this particular server is getting loaded. Let's say no. Okay, let me open the directory here. And if I go to this particular this PC, and here you could see I have an OS disk. This is the OS disk. Always remember, within Azure, specific to the Windows virtual machine, you will be getting the OS disk size as a 127 GB as a default. Below that, you cannot create it. Okay, we'll discuss it. Okay, how to increase the increase or decrease the size of the disk. Okay, we'll talk about it now. And by default, okay, here you could see one temporary storage. Let me get in this one. And here Microsoft certain recommendations we have, and we could see there's some warning here. Okay, if I open this particular warning here, okay, this is a temporary disk. Any data stored on this disk is subject to loss and there is no way to recover it. So it's a Microsoft recommendation is that if there is any important data, you should not store in a temporary disk, because Microsoft is not responsible. So for that reason, okay, so we should not use the temporary disk. Okay, if at all, if you wanted to store certain important data, in addition to that, okay, we have to create an additional data disk and we can store our data. So that is about the temporary disk. Okay, what I have seen it here. And if at all, if you wanted to capture any logs, certain OS logs or diagnostics logs, so we can create this particular storage account. Yeah, so which we haven't done yet, but yeah, so this is the high level thing. Okay, what we have done now. Okay, so here what I have done now. So if at all, if I wanted to connect to this particular server, so I will be connecting directly using RDP, and these are the internal components which are present. And here, okay, one thing, okay, we have added, right? Okay, like a 3389 port. This 3389 port, okay, I'm doing an NSG level, that is network security group level. So the functionality of the network security group is, okay, to allow or deny the traffic or incoming or outgoing traffic. Okay, we'll be managing them by using the energy rules. If at all, for example, if I'm trying to access this particular server, okay, from the internet, let's say, okay, let's say imagine this is a web server, and I have enabled the web server, that is IIS. And if at all, if I wanted to access my website, okay, and from internet and a port 80, okay, I have to enable the port 80 on my energy rules. If not, okay, I will be not able to access this particular web server. Okay, so we'll see that also now. But on a high level, whatever we have done, okay, this is how, okay, we have done, and these are the components how they are interconnected. This is very important. It's a very basic thing, but it is very important. So let me moving ahead. Okay, before that, okay, I'll just start with our Microsoft documentation. Okay, let me go back here. So for every topic, okay, I will be providing you the certain document like this. Okay, so and I'll walk you through how we can look into the document, so that your work will be very easy. Okay, since we are discussing about virtual machine, okay, here you could see, if you don't know something, okay, what the best way, what I recommend is just go to the Google. Even if I don't pass any document, just say Azure virtual machine. Since we are discussing about virtual machine, and just say docs. Okay, documentation, just click on enter. Okay, you will be getting a documentation page. Okay, just get in here, and you could see I just went into the Microsoft documentation page. And on a overview page, okay, you can see multiple categories here. Okay, if at all if you wanted to look into some troubleshooting, okay, have some troubleshooting options. If at all if you wanted to see like latest features, what are all present, okay, you can see what's new. Okay, so under quick start, okay, specific to Linux as well as Windows, okay, you could see here. For example, if at all I wanted to create a Windows VM, currently I have created a Windows VM, right, directly from a portal. And we have also discussed, okay, we can create the resources using PowerShell and CLI. Okay, how to do it, how to do that, okay, you can see these two. For the Windows, same as with the Linux. In addition to that, okay, so we have the certain cloud adoption frameworks, like in an architecture level. But see, if I go to this particular, adoption framework, okay, let's open this. So in here, okay, so you'll be able to set an architecture views. Okay, for example, if I go to this architecture center, okay, so in here, okay, I will be able to see certain designing for the cloud and choosing the right technology for the computing services. Those things, okay, you can explore. Okay, so for now, let me come back here. So here, if you see on the left hand side, if I expand this particular overview page, okay, here it will give you the certain overview of Windows and Linux virtual machines. If since we are discussing most of the things are Windows related at this moment, okay, let's see here. Okay, what are the VM sizes? What are the VM limitations? Okay, quota limitation. Here you could see certain document. And if I go to the quick starts, okay, so under a quick start, okay, here if I go to the Windows VM, okay, here I could see how can I create these, VM by using a CLI commands, by using directly portal, by using PowerShell as well as ARM templates. So for now, okay, since we are discussing about portal, okay, let's go back to the portal. So I'll walk you through the document also, whatever we have done just now. So first, what I have done as a prerequisite, you should have a retail subscription. I think most of you are already having. And then after, okay, I'm just log into the portal. So this is the URL to log into the portal, that is portal.azure.com. And then after, okay, so I'm just typing a virtual machine in a search box. Okay, this is my search box. Okay, and then, okay, so I'm selecting the virtual machine under the services. Okay, I need to select the virtual machine, and in the virtual machine place, okay, I need to click on add. And once it is done, okay, so these are the details I need to pass. I need to pass the subscription name, a resource group, VM names, and availability features, which image you wanted, what is the size, and what is the username and password that you wanted, and if you wanted to allow any certain inbound or outbound ports. Okay, currently here, okay, they are allowing a port 80 also. We have allowed only a 3389. And in addition to that, okay, so if at all if you have any licensing, okay, you can provide it. If not, okay, they are going with the rest of the options as the default. And they have done with the creation of the VM. And now, okay, they are also showing you how to connect a virtual machine also. Okay, so they just navigated to the virtual machine blade, and they just click opening this particular RDP. You can just click on connect, and you can just download the RDP file, like how I have shown yesterday. Like I have to go back here, go to the overview page of the VM, just click on connect, just click on RDP. So when you click on RDP, okay, it will ask you to download this RDP file. Just click on download, and you can just open this particular RDP file. When I click on connect again, it will ask me for the username and password. So this is one way of method, okay, you can connect. So otherwise, okay, you can just take a public IP, and you can just open a MSTSA or an RDP, and you can pass it also. And now, so we are done with till here. And now let's see how we can install the web server. Okay, so for the folks, okay, who are pretty new, okay, don't confuse with the word called web server. If at all if you wanted to let's say I wanted to host a sample .NET application on top of this VM. I have created a VM, this is a server, and I wanted to host a sample .NET application. So if at all I wanted to do certain activities, I need to enable this particular feature called web server, that is IIS. Okay, to see your VM action, install the IIS web server. Okay, so how to do it using a PowerShell? Okay, here you could see the PowerShell command. So for now, I will show you how we can do it manually, at the same time PowerShell also. So since we are already in a VM, let me come back to the VM. So just click on this particular start button, and whenever you click on this particular start button, here you could see the something called server manager. Just click on it here. So whenever you click on this particular server manager, okay, you could see what are the features are enabled here. At this moment, I don't see web server here, right? That is IIS, Internet Information Services. Once I enable this particular web server, I will be able to see here on the left hand side. So to do that manually, okay, just click on add roles and future. and let me go to the default next, and here also default next, and let's go with the server from the pool. Okay, I'm just selecting the same server. Let me go to the next, and these are the roles and features, okay, which are available for the any servers. Okay, so going forward also, okay, we'll be coming back here and we'll be enabling most of the services here. Like when we talk about active directory, we'll be enabling this particular active directory domain services. When we discuss about the certain migration, okay, we'll be coming and enabling this particular hyper-v feature. And at this moment, okay, I'm going to enable this particular web server. Here you could see the web server, right? That is IIS. Just choose it. Okay, whenever I click on this particular IIS, these are all the feature, okay, which is going to add. So let me click on add feature, and by default you can go to the next. Okay, so these are the features, additional features. It will be installed, like a .NET framework and enhanced storage or all other stuff. For now, I'm going with the default, and let me go to the next. And if you see here, so these are the role services also creating, and let me go to the next, and it is asking for the confirmation. So this is one way of manual method, okay, how to perform configuration I have saved, right? If I click on this particular configuration, if I click on load, this entire configuration will be appeared. Let me cross check it. If I go to the data, I can see the same username, and I'm also able to see my screen. And I'm also able to see my screen. Sometimes if you fail done with a fail, this particular validation might be failing because it could be the reasons, like if we creating those VMs, okay, using this particular software, I mean image. The most important technical, right? The install hyphen Windows feature, because this particular web server is like a Windows feature, and I'm just passing the name Windows feature name as a web server. Okay, and here, okay, I'm just passing additional argument to include the management tools also. Very simple. Okay, so let me, instead of copying this, okay, I wanted to write it there. So let's come back to the portal here. Okay, so what I'm doing, first I'm doing the install hyphen, what I'm doing Windows feature, right? Okay, just to do Windows and give the tab. Okay, it will be sometimes auto filled. Yeah, here you could see it has taken some time. Okay, don't be worry. Okay, sometimes your PowerShell will take some time to load certain modules. So what I'm doing, install icon Windows feature, because I'm installing additional feature called web server. And what is the name of the feature? You should say web server. Okay, let me copy the exact name. Okay, so web server. Let me come back here. I don't need to put the things. Okay, I say web, and let's say, will I get it automated? No, I'll just say web server. And here, okay, in addition to that, okay, I'm just passing additional argument to include the management tools. Okay, I'll say hyphen include management tools, and I just give the tab. It will be auto filled. Okay, so just try to don't simply copy and paste the commands. Okay, try to write it on your own. Okay, just have a look once and just try to write it on your own, so that you will understand. So copying and pasting, okay, so will not help you. Okay, so after this, okay, just click on enter. And before I entering, okay, I will also show you, okay, where this particular web server related binaries or folders will be created. So if I come back to this particular C directory, okay, at this moment I don't see any let's say, okay, for example, here I have completely now 7 items, 7 folders. So when I enable this particular web server, right, here one additional folder will be created with a name called inetpub. Okay, let's show you that now also. Let me keep them in a parallel. Yeah. So let me come back here. Let's say I'll put it here and can enter. And if you see here, okay, it is started installation. Okay, start installation. And if you come back to this particular C directory, and if you do refresh, I should be able to see a separate folder will be created with a name called inetpub. I always recommend you to try doing the things, okay, with a PowerShell only. Okay, which is always help you for automating the most of the tasks. Okay, but at the same time you should be familiar with how to do it manual. Okay, it is still doing. And if you see here, okay, a separate folder will be created with a name called inetpub, and you can see the date also. Okay, this is the server time it is coming. Okay, here you could see the 2:15. Okay, because our server will be by default, okay, this particular Azure servers will be created under UTC time zone, I guess. Okay, and if you see here, this is the succeeded. Okay, the status it is giving succeeded, and whether it is a restart is needed, no. And exit code is success, and some other future results, okay, it is giving, forget about it. Let's come back here. Okay, so let me get into this particular inet pub document, the folder. By default, okay, here, okay, you will be having a 5 folders. Try to remember if possible these folder names also. Okay, www root, temp, logs, history, and cluster. I'm not going to discuss about these folders in detail, what other we will be having. If you go to this particular www root, so here, okay, you will be having HTML document, right? So let me try to open this HTML document. Okay, I'll open it with a notepad. So this is what, okay, so it is going to execute, okay, basic sample HTML web page. Okay, when I try to access this particular server now. If at all, if you wanted to have your own website, okay, you have to replace here with your certain codes. And here you could see one image they have kept. So this is the image, okay, it will be opened whenever I open this particular web server now. So let me close it now. So I'll make some changes here as a header. This is my header, right? Okay, here, okay, I'll say just welcome to Azure. Okay, and just close it. I'll save it, I'll close it. Now let's see this particular web server, okay, I have enabled, and it is running an HTTP port. Okay, so we remember, right, while creating the VM. Okay, so what is the port of the HTTP? We discussed yesterday. Okay, the port number of HTTP is 80. Okay, so if at all, if from the internet, if at all I wanted to access this particular web server which I have installed now, I will be doing using public IP. And if I wanted to allow this particular public IP on this particular web server, I need to allow the port 80 on this particular energy rules. Okay, let me do it quickly. So I came back to this particular energy rules, and let me click on add inbound port. And in here, okay, so a destination port is 80, and this is a TCP port, and the priorities and all, okay, we'll discuss later. And I'll just give the name as HTTP, and let me click on add. And once it is done, okay, you will be able to see it here. Okay, if at all, if you wanted to see, just go back and see here, and you will be able to see the HTTP port that is 80, and it is allowed. Now let me try it. If at all, if I wanted to access this web server, I can just copy this public IP, and I can put it in the browser, so that I will be able to see that particular web browser. Can you see? I have made some changes to my web server. Okay, whatever the HTML content I have, and here there I kept it as a header. Okay, as a welcome to Azure, and I was able to see this particular image. Let's say, okay, I wanted to replace this image with something different else. Okay, let's say here, if I under this particular inetpub folder, okay, let me minimize this also. I think, okay, these folders are let's see. Okay. Okay, here, okay, this is the image. Okay, by default it is showing. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'll delete this image. Okay, this they have given with the same IIS start. Okay, I'll copy another image from my. Okay, let me copy this image itself. Okay, I'll just save copy image, or I'll just save it as, and I'll just save it as IIS start only. Okay, as a PMG file, and just put it as a save, and I'll just copy and paste it in the server and the same directory. Okay, let's go back here. Let me copy this, and I'll go to the server and I'll put it here. Okay, IIS start. So this time, if I open this particular web server, this particular image should come. Let's see this, because I just changed the image there. So let's come back here. Let's go back. Let me do refresh. Can you see? I'm able to get a different image. Okay, with a header whatever given. Welcome to Ojo. So this is whatever the content you keep it on our root folder. Okay, so it will be displayed. Okay, to create a sample.net page also same as. Okay, I'm not going to discuss in detail. In addition to that, okay, let me come back to the server manager now. Okay, so let me close this for now. Let me do a refresh here. And once I done with a refresh, okay, here you can see a separate service is created, that is IIS. Let me get into this. Okay, so if at all if I wanted to go with this particular management, okay, I say IIS manager, and if I open this particular IIS manager, okay, here I could see all the details of this particular site. Okay, so this is the default site I have hosted, and you could see certain related default host, certain related log files, and certificates and all other stuff. And at this moment, okay, this particular server is up and running, right? So if at all if I wanted to stop, okay, I can just click on stop it here. Okay, so this is a web server. Okay, like Internet Information Services IIS manager. And if at all if I wanted to stop, just click on stop. Okay, I'm stopping this particular web server, that is IIS. If I go back now here, and if I do refresh, I should be getting error because it is in a stop mode. Let's say I'll copy this and I'll open in a incognito mode so that I will get a quicker response. If you see here, it is taking too much time, and at the end, okay, it will give you the result saying that certain error it will throw you. Okay, let me come back here. And for this particular thing, okay, this site cannot be reached. Okay, you're getting an error here because my web server is on a shutdown mode, and here also you could see this server cannot be reached. Let me come back here and start this web server. Okay, here I'm just starting, and it is now running up and running. Let me come down, and I'll just try, can you see, as soon as I started, okay, it is able to giving the results. So this is how, okay, just a basic operations you should be familiar with, like how to enable the web server in case of Windows, and how to get into the IAS manager and perform this certain actions. Okay, so let me come back to the portal again. So I think, okay, we discussed till now, like about the high availability options. Okay, and make sure that it is not allow you to keep into the availability set or availability zone once the VM is created. So while creating the VM itself, okay, you have to keep them into the availability set or availability zones. And the second thing is, yeah, we have created, and all is looking good, and I think we have very less time. Okay, let me quickly show you some other overview concepts here. No, let me come back to the document first. So this is, okay, how to create it via portal. Okay, we have seen, right? But Microsoft recommendation is, okay, clean up the resources. Since it is a free trial account, once you're done with the practice, okay, so it's a Microsoft recommendation is to clean up the resources. That means to delete the entire resource group so that all the resources will be deleted. So make sure that, okay, even you also, once you're done with the practice, okay, better try to delete them so that it will not consume you most of the cost, because we will be having like a 13,300 credit points, right, per month. So it will not be wasted. And now I'm good with how to create the VMs using portal. Now I wanted to explore using PowerShell and CLI, because, okay, we have seen what are the prerequisites we needed. Okay, if at all if you wanted to use the PowerShell and CLI. Okay, so if at all if I wanted to create using PowerShell, let's click on this particular PowerShell, and here, okay, they will be given with a detailed document also. Okay, so if at all if you wanted to use the cloud shell, okay, here they are giving the command like a shell.azure.com, which we have already seen. Okay, so for example, if I click on this particular URL, Okay, so for this particular same Microsoft document, okay, if I open this particular cloud cell, okay, separate window will be coming, right? The same window will be opened in a separate tab by using the command called cell.azure.com. Okay, so for now let me close it here. So the if at all, if you don't have a modules installed, or if you're using office laptop, all other stuff, you can use the cloud cell for the practice purpose. And if you see here, with the same account, I have opened the cloud cell now. Let's come back here. Okay, launch the Azure cloud cell. Okay, with this one done. And first I need to create a resource group. Okay, for creating the resource group, this is the basic command: new hyphen AZ resource group name and location, which we have already discussed already. Okay, if at all, if you want it, just don't copy like this. Okay, just copy here directly. And for creating the VM, okay, this is a basic simple command. What I recommend is, okay, just copy this, don't put into the VS code, just open a notepad plus plus. Okay, you can just install the notepad plus plus, because in a notepad plus plus, if at all, if I wanted to do some certain changes, okay, I can do it. Okay, so let's say, okay, whenever I copy paste, okay, this indentation whatever you have, right? Okay, this extra spaces and all will not be missing in a notepad plus plus. If at all, if I keep it in a notepad, okay, this indentation will be missing. Okay, for say, if I say keep it here, and whenever I try to copy it and try to paste it in a somewhere else, okay, this particular indentation will be missing. So the don't try to edit anything. Okay, this type of automation things, okay, on a notepad, better you use notepad plus plus. Okay, so for now, let's say, let's come back here. And this is the command to creating a resource group, right? So later, okay, connecting to the portal, what are the commands? Okay, here you could see. Let me put the resource group creation also. Here I wanted to go with the different resource group names. Let's say here I wanted to keep my own. uh, let's say I'll give it as like test resource group, test rj01. Okay, location, okay, I wanted to go with the Southeast Asia. Okay, we have a region called Southeast Asia also. Just have a look at it. So now I'm creating a new resource group called test rj1, and location. And at the same time, we need to change those things in a VM properties also. For now, okay, I have created a resource group called test rj, right? I need to copy, and here, okay, under this resource group, I need to change it. And now, okay, so VM name, if you wanted to change it, okay, you can name change it. Let's say I'll say like a test VM, because okay, I'll just follow the some certain prefix called test, and it is hosting in a East US. Okay, I don't want any East US. I need to in a Southeast Asia. Okay, Southeast Asia. Fine. And VNet name also, if at all, if you wanted, okay, you can say test VNet 01. Default VNet will be created, and the default subnets will be created. Okay, I say test subnet 01. And similarly, if at all, if you wanted to create a security group, network security group, you say like a test, NSG 01, and same as with the public IP. I'll say test public IP 01. And a short term, I am just keeping it as a pub IP. And these are the ports I'm opening. Okay, so let me execute these commands first. Okay, first I'll create a resource group. Copy this, go back to your cloud cell. If at all, okay, if you do not have permissions to install the modules on your local system, if at all using a Windows 7, what you can do is, okay, you can create a server, and within the server by default, okay, for your PowerShell, okay, AG modules will be installed. Let me show you. Okay, if I go to the Windows C, program files, Windows PowerShell, modules. Okay, so I think here it is not installed, but by default I think it will be coming. If at all, if not, okay, you can try to install the modules by just opening as an Azure administrator, and you can use this particular server for the creating an automations. I say like install hyphen module, and the module name is AG, and then I'll do the force. Okay, and if I click on enter, okay, this particular modules will be installed, and you can just try to do automation from directly from here also. If not possible, okay, you can use the cloud cell. Let me copy this. Let's show you quickly in a cloud cell itself. I'll come back to this cloud cell. Okay, so here you could see. Okay, let me clear the screen, and I'll, okay, if at all, okay, you're copying something, right? Okay, just right click and copy, and come back here and just do a right click and paste. Okay, so here I'm creating a new resource group and let me click on enter. And I think sometimes, okay, I need to follow this particular, things. Okay, I need to put the names as a string. Okay, and let me click on enter. Now it will be created a new resource group with a name called test.rg. I'm done. So let me quickly create a VM also. This is a basic commands. Okay, in advanced level we'll see coming days. So let me click on enter. So here, okay, in addition, it is asking for the username. Okay, let's say I'll say Azure user. If at all, if you wanted to give your name, okay, you can give. Okay, for now, let's say I'll give user as a my name and a password. Okay, I'll give. And whenever you enter the password, okay, it will not show you. And here, okay, so default size, okay, it is taking as a standard DS2 V3 since we haven't passed the size. And you can see the progress here. It is creating the public IP first and VNet, and you can see the progress here. The same thing, okay, you can monitor directly from the portal also. For example, if I go back to the resource groups, so I should be creating a test RG. It is already created, and within this, okay, I should be able to see the resources getting created. Can you see now? It is performing the deployment. It is creating the VM already. Let's do refresh. The most important thing, those things, okay, you can practice. Same as, okay, you can do with the CLI. Okay, so let's say, yeah, we're almost done. So with the CLI also, okay, so just open a Cloud Shell CLI bash here, and creating a resource group. This is the basic directly from the PowerShell commands itself, and how to get the public IP, and how to install the web server. Okay, those things, okay, you can practice. Same as, okay, you can do with the CLI. Okay, so let's particular modules will be installed, and you can just try to do automation from directly from here also. If not possible, okay, you can use the Cloud Shell. Let me copy this. Let's show you quickly in a Cloud Shell itself. I'll come back to this Cloud Shell. Okay, so here you could see. Okay, let me clear the screen, and I'll, okay, if at all, okay, you're copying something, right? Okay, just right click and copy, and come back here and just do a right click and paste. Okay, so here I'm creating a new resource group, and let me click on enter. And I think sometimes, okay, I need to follow this particular things. Okay, I need to put the names as a string. Okay, and let me click on enter. Now it will be created a new resource group with a name called test.rg. I'm done. So let me quickly create a VM also. This is a basic commands. Okay, in advanced level we'll see coming days. So let me click on enter. So here, okay, in addition, it is asking for the username. Okay, let's say I'll say Azure user. If at all, if you wanted to give your name, okay, you can give. Okay, for now, let's say I'll give user as a my name and a password. Okay, I'll give. And whenever you enter the password, okay, it will not show you. And here, okay, so default size, okay, it is taking as a standard DS2 V3 since we haven't passed the size. and you can see the progress here. It is creating the public IP first and VNet, and you can see the progress here. The same thing, okay, you can monitor directly from the portal also. For example, if I go back to the resource groups, so I should be creating a test RG. It is already created, and within this, okay, I should be able to see the resources getting created. Can you see now? It is performing the deployment. It is creating the VM already. Let's do refresh. At this moment, okay, these are the components are already created. So likewise, okay, just try with the once installing the uh, creating the VM, okay, how to connect, okay, using directly from the PowerShell command itself, and how to get the public IP, and how to install the web server. Okay, those things, okay, you can practice. Same as, okay, you can do with the CLI. Okay, so let's say, yeah, we're almost done. So with the CLI also, okay, so just open a Cloud Shell CLI bash here, and creating a resource group. This is the basic command, and creating the VM. Okay, this is the basic script, and you will be getting an output like this, and getting a port 80 open. Okay, you can do this way. Okay, just now I have added a port 80 manually, right? So you can just automate it, okay, by using CLI commands also. Okay, this is how you need to perform, and connecting to the VM and installing the web server will be the same. Okay, so for today, okay, just take it as a lab, creating the servers in a three ways, that is portal, PowerShell, and CLI, and try to take the different regions, because if you try to create the VMs in the same region, it will not allow you, because in a free trial account you will be having a certain quota limit. If it is exceeding, okay, it will not allow you create it. Okay, so and a high priority, okay, try practicing from today. Okay, these labs, try to create these three servers with the different naming standards, okay, by using portal, CLI, and PowerShell. Let me know if at all if you are facing any issues, and also try to enable the web server, and try to access the web server by using public IP of the VM. And I'm stopping it for today, and from tomorrow we'll explore what are the remaining options we can do on a VM level. Fine. So that's it for today. Before we end up, okay, if you have any questions, we can quickly discuss. If not, okay, let's catch up tomorrow. Any questions?
Ramakrishna Ravi here.
Yeah, Ravi.
Actually, those VMs are created for a user level. What if, for multiple users, like if we
I
create
understood.
to multiple users, then what is the procedure for this, and what kind of things we have to follow?
Correct. So generally, an organization level, okay, these VMs will be domain giant. Okay, so if it is a domain giant, okay, as a domain group, okay, you can give the DLs. For example, in the DL, okay, if there are 20 people, those 20 people can be access these VMs, their Active Directory credentials, using their Active Directory credentials. So I think, okay, here, okay, I'm not sure, okay, whether can we test it or not. I did not do it yet, but on an organization level, but we do domain join, okay, to have a access to the multiple users.
Acha.
Yep.
So this thing we can connect to like a Git hub, like Git, right?
Like,
Git repository, like in that Git we have multiple users, and we can connect to that Git, that those users will can use this option like that, or what?
no, no, no. So especially when in Windows, if at all if you wanted to grant a permissions to the multiple users, the best way is, okay, we go with the domain join.
But each and every users have multiple kind of options, no? I mean, we cannot give all the permissions to 20 users at the same time. My one user will be different permissions, another users will be different permissions. How it will be?
Yeah, good question. So while performing the domain join also, okay, will not allow the admin permissions for all the users. Okay, whatever the users, okay, you're planning to have admin rights, okay, they will be adding them as a domain join. And other users, okay, whatever the permissions you wanted, okay, we can restrict from them via IAM also.
Okay,
Yeah. Any more questions?
thank you.
Great. So if at all if you have any questions, okay, please try to post it in a WhatsApp group, and based on my availability, okay, I'll try to reply. But take it as a priority and start practicing each and every topic. Okay, whatever we're discussing as part of today, okay, just focus on these three labs, creating the VMs using three different ways: CLI, Portal, and PowerShell. Right. So thank you guys. Okay, have a good day. Let's catch up tomorrow.